I'm Zain Metcalf, and I'm an archivist currently working up here in the GlamX lab, currently filling in for our usual resident GlamX master, Anne Hardy. I'm supervising a bunch of volunteers and workers that are doing their own work digitizing and essentially transcribing lots of various materials into a more long-lasting digital format. So Deadline 2025 is a initiative or a report put out by the Australian Society of Archivists, and they've essentially given us a deadline of the year 2025 to get all audiovisual material transferred over to a more modern and contemporary format. And essentially it states that the equipment used in audiovisual playing, so VHS players, reel-to-reel machines, projectors, that kind of thing, are all going to become very difficult to fix, very difficult to find, and very difficult to find the expertise to run and keep running, essentially, into the future. And Deadline 2025 is a call to action to say, all these audiovisual formats need to be migrated now.
Hi, I'm William. I'm a communications student at University of Newcastle, and I find myself doing placement at GlamX Lab. The servicing industry of the machines is sort of dying off and becoming rarer and rarer, that you'll find somebody who is specialized to actually repair the pneumatic tapes, seeing though the manufacturers have completely ended support for the system a long, long time ago.
If we were to lose this material, we'd be losing a massive amount of cultural, informational, and general information about the area. I mean, we've got over 50 years of NBN broadcast footage. We have the newscast for every night, essentially, for the last 50 years or so. And not only do we have these shots of Newcastle from the NBN archive, we have a bunch of more personal stuff. We have unnamed wedding footage with all these beautiful colours and dresses in it, I think from the 60s. We've got all these other material. We've got educational materials. We've got like things like weather data. We've got all these things like climate data. We've got a ton of objects that pertain to the Hunter Valley in particular, and to lose them would be a massive loss for us all. All these things are essentially, we would kill for them in your average historical study, because they're very mundane, but the mundane details reveal so much. Essentially, our main issue is funding. It's not necessarily a matter of finding the people to do it or finding the techniques to do it. It's entirely to do with the fact that we simply don't have the money. We don't have the money to employ people. We have a large cadre of volunteers that come in, almost every day to help us out, and we value their time so much because essentially they are helping us save Newcastle's history from oblivion, for lack of a better word. We've got over 1 million feet of footage in the archive behind me, and we can't store it properly. Essentially, it's slowly degrading and rotting because we can't afford a small walk-in refrigerator, so we can store this footage at a stable temperature of 8 degrees. But we simply don't have the money for that, and there's no real way to get us the money, because there's a theoretical potential for perfection, or close to perfection, and then there's a practical best you can do solution. And unfortunately, too often, we have to pick this practical solution rather than the theoretical best practice because the funds simply aren't there.
What that just means is the actual guarantee of serviceability is not going to be there. And we're just going to be, from that time onwards, taking it day by day and trying to do the best that we can.